We had given up farming, and that's basically why Grant took over, because we gave up. We'd been working jobs in town to support the farm, but had lost the excitement about farming. So when he came over and said he's going to try something new and different, we said, go for it, because what we're doing is not working.
The conventional model wasn't working for us. We were going broke. We were strongly contemplating quitting farming. So we started our regen path back when it wasn't even called sustainable agriculture. We just wanted healthier cows, we wanted more feed for our cows. So we started tiptoeing into this with our cattle and our pasture management. And then over the years it morphed onto our row crop land. Regenerative agriculture and its definition came along, and we're like, well, yeah, we're that. But then after a little while down that path some more, we started realizing that that word was being abused also and marketed, I guess. We kind of rethought things, and we started realizing that we were more about generating life here as well as generating an income, rather than having to kill things to make that income.
You know, years ago when we started farming here, it was like, what pest or problem do we have to worry about or kill today? And now we're so far down this path, and we understand that it's about life. If we can promote life in the soil, it puts life above the ground also. Whether it's ruminants, whether it's cattle, whether it's the poultry, whatever it is, the crops. As long as we focus on putting life in the soil, we're going to have life above the soil. So as we've gone down this path, the one thing that we've noticed has happened is that absentee landowners, or even landowners that still live on their farms, are noticing what soil health is about. Sue came to us 4 years ago and asked if we could help fix her farm.
I had to find someone that would be willing to farm this land. I had done some research, and I contacted Grant and asked if he would come up and meet with me, and he did. And he told me then, he said, you know, Dawn doesn't want to take on anymore. And he said, but if I can get her here, I think she'll see the potential. So he did. And we set up a meeting, and we sat right here, this very spot, and we sat and we talked, and I said, you know, I think we can make this work. And I was so elated that we shook hands and said, we can make this work. And Dawn said, we'll get your land back for you. We'll get your land back for you. And I just, for the first 2 years, I think every time I saw them, I would say, I can't tell you how happy I am that you're our tenant. I can't tell you how happy. They had looked at the soil. They had done soil tests, and the results were not very good. There was no life in the soil. The pasture left a lot to be desired. They looked at it and they said, this needs to rest. So for the first year that they were here, they paid the rent, but they never brought animals up because they wanted to let the land rest and recover from what it had gone through. And the second year they came up, they thought they would be able to bring animals up. Gabe was with them, and Gabe said, you know, it would be a lot better if you let it rest another year. And so they did. And to me, that's a true spirit of having empathy with the land, of caring so much and understanding what the land has to bring.
Grant and Don are really living a conservation ethic. They really are. Everything is intentional, and Grant will tell you that they spend more time trying to keep things alive than kill things. It's not just that conservation ethic, but it's their value system of a belief in they're doing the right thing, stay the course, and it will yield.
You know, their management is basically different than anybody else around the area. They're heavy into cover crops. They're multi-species cover crops. You know, guys are using cover crops, but they're using, you know, like a single species. The diversity they bring into their cover cropping systems is amazing.
It has been very awesome to have a good relationship with them, to be able to have other producers that might have questions. We can have them meet with Don and Grant, have that conversation one-on-one because they have done and been through so much as far as testing things out, what works best conservation-wise on their farm.
Don and Grant do a great job with the field days they do out here and getting that outreach. And getting the word out there more than anything is important.
I was intrigued by what they were doing. They're interested in mentoring, helping other people see and grow and understand what they've come to know.
What I see that makes Don and Grant special and what I've learned about them is just their commitment to high integrity, high ethics in the way that they live, in the way that they farm, in the way that they show up in their community, doing the right thing when no one's looking. That commitment, that drive, that thirst for knowledge and search for kind of new learnings and insights is really, really special. I think that's been a big part of their success. Even more meaningfully for me and for General Mills is just this commitment to serve the community with education, with bringing others in, making it easier for the next farm family, producer who's wanting to experiment in this space.
Grant kind of brought this to the Cattlemen's Association, told me about the Leopold Award, and I was absolutely so interested in it. Right away I thought, of course I have to nominate Grant and Don Breitkreutzes. There's no one better in the state of Minnesota that comes to mind. They are just excellent stewards, and I knew that they were very deserving of this award.
We're grateful to the Sand County Foundation and to all of the organizations that have encouraged us over the years, all the individuals that have helped us. There's so many that we can't name everybody, and if we tried, we'd leave people out.
We've taken 13% prairie soils here down to 1.8. You know, what's going to be left for my granddaughters when we get to that point? We, Dawn and I, need to build this back up. And we figured this out, and we know how to do it, and we're doing it. It's slow, it's frustrating at times, but we can see long-term changes through the tests that are out there and what's happening. And we can see it in the finances that it's working. It's changed things for us.
I hope that we started right. I hope that this is just getting the ball rolling and that our family takes this and just runs with it and turns it into something we can't even imagine it being.